And we're breathing in and we're breathing out on January 8th, 2025. This is the live Chakra Attunement with WisdomWord. And as many of you may know, there's a lot of fires happening in Southern California all over the place, and the high winds have accelerated it overnight. So the whole LA area and the Malibu area has, I think there's 4 or 5 different fires. A couple of them are pretty big going on. So for the moment, my daughter's farm and where she lives in Thousand Oaks is okay. But there's a lot of people and a lot of structural areas that are affected by the fire right now. So we can keep those in our hearts and our minds. And then yesterday morning, a really big earthquake in Tibet, 7 point something, that also took a lot of lives. So there's just a lot of suffering, as we all know, going on in the world. And when we're doing our practices that can help us stay light and centered, we can also keep our hearts open and keep all those beings that are going through material sufferings or mental sufferings or emotional sufferings in our hearts and our prayers and minds as well. So continuing to breathe this morning, we remember what Kuan Yin has spoken to us about this year. And we remember that she's invited us to use that prayer, the Kuan Yin prayer, for our invocation of the year. Dearest Lady Kuan Yin, we call on you to help us love and accept ourselves fully. We ask that you grant us a full measure of compassion for ourselves and others. We pray that those suffering in the world can see and feel your loving presence. We pray that hardened hearts will melt in the presence of your compassionate understanding. We pray that the waters of grace and compassion that you pour over the earth will nourish the seeds of love and compassion in all hearts, creating gardens of beauty within all human beings. All living beings. It is our intention to nourish the garden within ourselves through prayer, meditation, and right thinking. In our hearts, our garden flourishes, spilling over and filling our world with the fragrance of the garden. We thank you, dear Lady Kuan Yin, for your presence in our lives and in our worlds. And so the prayer is in the first person. I call on you. But when we come into a group, sometimes I switch it to the we, and then I'll switch back in our second one and our third round today to the I, and each one of you working on your own prayer to Kuan Yin and your own relationship to the Divine Feminine, which is so important at this time in early January of 2025. Dearest Lady Kuan Yin, I call on you to help me love and accept myself fully. I ask that you grant me a full measure of compassion for myself and for others. I pray that those suffering in the world can see and feel your loving presence. I pray that hardened hearts will melt in the presence of your compassionate understanding. I pray that the waters of grace and compassion that you pour on the earth will nourish the seeds of love and compassion in all hearts, creating gardens of beauty within all living beings. It is my intention to nourish this garden within myself through prayer, meditation, right thinking. In my heart, my garden flourishes, spilling over and filling my world with the fragrance of the garden. We thank you, dear Lady Kuan Yin, for your presence in my life and in my world. And the last round, dearest Lady Kuan Yin, I call on you to help me love and accept myself fully. I ask that you grant me a full measure of compassion for myself and for others. I pray that those suffering in the world can see and feel your loving presence. I pray that hardened hearts will melt in the presence of your compassionate understanding. I pray that the waters of grace and compassion that you pour over the earth will nourish the seeds in all hearts, creating gardens of beauty within all living beings. It is my intention to nourish the garden within myself through prayer, meditation, and right thinking. In my heart, my garden flourishes, spilling over and filling my world with the fragrance of the garden. Thank you, dear Lady Kuan Yin, for your presence in my life and in my world. And so taking those moments to use this prayer daily during this year can really help you warm and connect to the divine feminine presence. And even when you think of those words, those who can feel the presence because of their practice, because of their connection to the divine, through any of the hardships that come along, as we know, the outer world is impermanent, and so things do change and shift and fall apart around us. But if we have that deep inner connection, it's a lot easier to manage the shifts and the changes, because we're not relying on the material or the outer world for our happiness, for our contentment, for our life force. We're relying on the inner world and our connection to the spiritual world, which is eternal. So part of the practices that we do, whether they're meditation or prayers or rosaries or mantras or mindfulness or being still and just listening to the inner, all these different practices are the things that help us sustain and strengthen our connection with spirit. And so part of that, dropped my recorder, part of that is the chakra attunement that we do together in these circles where we come together. So as you're breathing this morning and continuing to breathe in and out, listening to the words and opening your chakras, your energy centers, your heart, and bringing in that prana and that chi force, just have that acknowledgement for yourself that you're strengthening your connection with spirit and you're bringing that vibration further out into the world. Breathing in and breathing out. Surrounding the body in a container of light, below the feet, above the head, in front of the body, behind the body, to the right and the left of the body. And kind of visualize that, imagine it, make it real for yourself, concretize it. And dropping your attention to the pelvic floor, down the right leg, down the left leg, and down to the feet that connect you through the bottoms of the feet. Those secondary chakras there at the bottoms of the feet connect you to the new healed whole Mother Earth. You begin to visualize red. And with your breath, you imagine you're pulling that red energy into the body, down to that root chakra and down the legs, and you're connecting to the core of the earth, and you're bringing that solid core energy up to your body, focusing on the red, breathing in deeply, releasing the breath. Good. Breathing in, releasing the breath out. Feeling grounded to the new healed whole Mother Earth. And the sound that we use to wake up the chakra, to activate it, is a low toning of Om. And as we do that, we visualize the red filling the auric field, the container of light, working with the red chakra and spinning it in our body in its position. And then we chant the one-syllable Sanskrit mantra, which is Lam. Lam. Ready? Om. Lam. 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 Om. Lam. 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 You can kind of just curl your toes and roll around on your feet and feel yourself solidly connected to the feet, to the ground. And breathing up, come to the navel chakra, the orange energy. And I like to think of orange as such a creative force and a creative energy. And if you even think of any of the citrus essential oils or flower essences, especially the essential oils, they're very uplifting. So I think they're really great for the second chakra. If you want to just bring some citrus, orange, mandarin smells into your home, that might uplift you a little bit. And you can focus now on the belly, the navel area, hip to hip, kidney to kidney, visualizing orange and waking up that chakra with the medium-toned Om and the one-syllable Sanskrit mantra of Vam. Ready? And breathing in and breathing out. We're going to move up from the second chakra to the third. Personal power, sense of well-being, lifting up your rib cage there, away from your hip bones, and opening up the solar plexus area. Yellow is the color, vibration. Ram is the one-syllable Sanskrit mantra. And our exercise is a high-toned Om, as we imagine that spinning and opening it up and just bringing in that yellow, like the earth-sun vibration, into your solar plexus. Breathing in and out, high-toned Om, Ram. Om, Ram, Ram, Om, Ram, Ram. And continuing to breathe in and breathe out. Feeling those first three chakras kind of spinning, awake, vibrant. You got the prana and the life force in them. You're taking a few more deep breaths. Lifting up the lungs and moving the diaphragm, opening things up. We'll come to the center of the chest, the heart chakra, the green energy. Yep, that is the one syllable. That is the exercise that goes with it. The one syllable Sanskrit mantra is Yum, Yum, Yum. So we're breathing in, we're visualizing green, we're expanding the chest, we're radiating love out to any of those places where people are suffering and in need. Yum. Yum. Yum, yum. And I like to imagine the heart energy just stepping out there like the green Tara steps off the lotus and out into the world, bringing compassionate action. And so when you complete today and you move from your meditative space, your chakra space, towards your day, towards movement, just to imagine you stepping yourself out with compassion for yourself and for others and practicing that patience that we need for this January month, according to Kuan Yin. Patience, breathing in and breathing out. So the heart chakra, once again, yum, yum. I love and accept you exactly as you are, and I love and accept myself exactly as I am, bringing in that patience and really patience and tolerance, opening your heart to others' opinions, other ways of thinking than your own. Yum, yum. Breathing in and out. From the bridge, we come up to the throat, the blue energy of the sky, and we have a blue sky out there today. The tongue comes out to the chin. Flare up your paws and really move some energy today. Out through your throat, getting out all those emotions and worries and disappointments without having to put words to it. Let's just move it through, release it to the new healed whole Mother Earth. Really move the muscles in your belly and your solar plexus. And HUM is also our one-syllable Sanskrit mantra for this chakra, and we will chant that. Hum, hum, hum. Hum, hum. Breathing in and breathing out. Feeling those 5 chakras aligned, the red, the orange, the yellow, the green, and the blue. So a nice straight line. Make sure your spine is nice and straight. You're going to come up to your third eye now. So up from the throat, through the spinal column and the neck, coming into the head and the brain, visualizing indigo at the third eye, breathing in and out. These top 2 chakras work with our pituitary and our pineal glands, so we need these to open up more fully to being able to see the bigger picture, the broader scope, to be able to visualize and connect to spirit more fully. So breathing in that indigo energy. The one-syllable Sanskrit mantra is Shem, and the exercise is that high-pitched E as you visualize indigo. Shem, 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 Shem. And here we can turn the palms up during the 6th and 7th chakra. I usually turn my palms up. And with this third eye chakra, I start to open gratitude, open my heart and mind to gratitude, and visualize all those people, beings, teachers, things in our lives that we have to be grateful for. The sun, the moon, the air to breathe. And once again, the high-pitched E, the palms are open to receive. Breathing that sapphire, indigo energy into your brain channels. And stating your openness to see the bigger picture, to find joy, to find the light, to find your inner flame. And we'll do this 6th chakra one more time, visualizing that indigo sapphire energy. Ready? Feeling your gratitude. Take a moment to express gratitude. I'm grateful for my breath. I'm grateful for this moment. Grateful for all of you listening. Grateful for my recorder and phone that I can do this from. Wow, lots of things to be grateful for. Breathing in. Breathing out. And that high-pitched E once again. Shem, 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 Shem. Grateful for all those that reached out of concern about the fires. Breathing in and breathing out. And continuing to breathe, we'll move up to the crown chakra. So the very top of the head, the top of the brain, kind of opening up through the skull there and the crown. And as you're making the sound wah, 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 from low to high, visualizing purple, violet, amethyst, violets, whatever, amethyst, whatever brings you to that vibrational color, and continuing to chant higher and higher until it turns to a white light and you feel it streaming from the top of your head In the stillness that follows your highest tone of the Wa, allow your palms to receive, your crown to receive a boost of energy from Spirit, paying attention for a moment in stillness. Ready? Receiving back the boost, the connection from Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, dear Lady Kuan Yin, because we feel your presence in our hearts and in our worlds. Ready? You can slowly bring your palms back together, palm to palm, or lay the palms on the heart, palm to palm, prayer pose, Anjali Mudra, laying them on the heart, and just basking in the energy. Reminded that Kuan Yin brought through on the 5th in our yearly channeling for the year of 2025, that the first month would kind of focus on patience. And yesterday, a lot of tech issues, a lot of things that brought up an impatience and doing things over again and again, so on and so forth. And then recognizing that, this is an opportunity to practice tolerance and patience and so on and so forth. And then a little later, going to my mailbox and finding my Social Security message from Social Security, which prints your whole Social Security number, and it had been opened, and a realization that somebody had my Social Security number. And so I was on the way to an appointment, so I had to jump in the car. And I was aware of both brains, the brain that wanted to panic and start thinking about all the things I had to do, and, well, how do I do it? And why would they be so stupid to print the whole number? And at the same time, being aware of, here's the opportunity to practice patience. And I happened to turn on my radio in the car, and I'd forgotten that I had a CD in of His Holiness's teaching. I think it was a teaching in Ithaca, New York. And he was speaking, and the translator was translating, and he's mentioning, I think he's working on Karma-Shilas, or one of the great Indian masters' treatises on the Bodhisattva, developing Bodhisattva, developing enlightenment. And so at one point he's like, also go back to chapter 6 on patience. Made me laugh. There it was. And, tolerance, remembering that part of patience is tolerance for other people's perspectives and viewpoints. Patience also has that level of the environmental patience. And so here we have fires and earthquakes and bad weather and snow and all kinds of things going on in the environment. And, needing that tolerance and patience with it as well. And so there was the opportunity to just go back to being centered in the breath, and then realizing when I came back, okay, now that I'm in this space, meeting the form from this space, do the next thing, the next thing, the next thing, and it gets done instead of panicking. So even the prayer for Kuan Yin is reminding us of that. As you go through the different stanzas and you really listen to the words, you'll notice a reminder to be patient, a reminder that we are not alone and we have that presence. And when you get in your panic mode and your fight, flight kind of energy mode, the first thing that happens is generally anger comes up, and patience is the antidote to anger, frustration. So the different things, overwhelm, frustration, mad, those are all components of anger. And the antidote for that is the patience and the tolerance with yourself, with situations, with, phone calls to robots that aren't there to answer your questions immediately the way you want. and so on and so forth. So keeping that in mind as we move forward towards the full moon of this month, and we move forward into 2025 more fully, and we observe the changes going on the planet, the changes going on in all the structures and the organizations, and we work on the change within ourselves, opening to spirit, opening to a sense of peace no matter what the form brings. So there is that today, and this will conclude our Wednesday midweek chakra attunement and midweek sort of boost from the universe. And we'll close with the prayer pose or the hands on the heart with 3 beautiful Oms. The first for yourself. The second, to extend our acknowledgement to this circle for practicing with us. Thank you very much. And the third, to just extend our energy out into the world to whatever heart that needs it, it falls upon. Ready? Om.